Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Thank you all for being here today. And I apologize for yesterday. Uh, I was actually here to get on, and then I got an important phone call where I had to leave and take care of some business. So that's why I wasn't here. I was about to get on live and talk to you guys, but that's what happened. But I'm here right now, and I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you all for your messages, your comments. Thank you for also, subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate you guys. That means uh, a lot of these messages are resonating with you, and that's a good thing. And I hope that these messages can help you apply the things that I talk about here into your own life the same way that I applied it in my life. And it took me from A to B to C and D. But nothing is ever done without God. So I always, do that because God was the one who brought me back from zero to where I am today. And I'm very grateful and humbled by it because if it wasn't for Him, I don't think I could have made it, guys. And so, um, what I did is I made a couple of vows that I keep to him, and I'm very firm on it because, like I said, God could have said, hey, I'm not here to help her, whatever the case is. I'm just going to sit back and watch, but He didn't do that. And I'm so grateful for that. So I hope you guys are doing well today. One of the things that's going on out there is the pollen, and I'm trying to like keep myself away because it triggers my allergies. But so far, I'm okay. Um, Hopefully, you guys are okay and you're enjoying the weather. You're getting out. Take care of yourself, everyone. It's important to take care of you. As I always stress in these videos, please take care of yourself because there's only one you. It's important to invest in yourself so that you're okay. Your physical and mental health is okay so that you can move forward in life and not just exist in life. It's so important. I had to learn that. So, with that being said, I'm going to say one more thing before I get into the topic of discussion today. Um, I'm not a therapist of any sort. I don't have a degree or certification as a therapist. However, I'm someone who's gone through a lot of grief starting from 2020 for like 2 years of it, losing people who are important in my life. People were dropping like flies, lost my dog, just about everything. And learning to sit still in prayer and meditation and asking God to help me. And what I've noticed, what I noticed that I am sharing with you today is that as I started to do the work to heal and to take a step, one, two, three, four steps, like in the beginning, I wasn't taking those many steps. But as I took a step, God was behind the scene taking two, three, and four steps on my behalf, to help me and to show me that He had my back and He was there for me. And as I saw that and noticed each time I took a step that God was behind the scenes um, working on my behalf, I continued to move forward and started to make some vows, a few vows. And then I do that every week because I don't play with God. If I make a vow to do something, I make sure that I carry it through. So that's important to me, like showing appreciation to God because He's the one who's been there when nobody else was there to show me I got your back no matter what. And if He's for me, then who can be against me? Because He's always going to be there to help me as long as I'm helping myself, you know? It's not like these movies you watch where you find a lantern and you rub it and your wish comes true. No, there's work to be done, especially when you've gone through so much grief. You have to heal that in order to start to grow. You have to nurture yourself, your physical, mental health. One of the things that I did in the beginning was therapy. I started with a therapist. I still see him as of today. because that was a starting point in my life to help me so that I could, I didn't know how I was going to do this. It doesn't come with a book or instructions, but I knew that I wanted to move forward because the lessons that were being repeated, it was too much for me. And I had to learn them and move forward. So what I was doing is just staying in prayer and meditation. And therapy helped me. It started when my therapist talked about boundaries. It's important that I set them. And I was scared at first because people are going to be in conflict with me about it. And, remember, guys, I was a person of subservient, to other people's needs, instead of my own needs when I was neglecting myself and etc. You know, so when you start to learn how to heal and meditate and do things that build you up, you start to feel better. And as you feel better, you start to grow and evolve. Every day that I get up in the morning, I give the thanks to God, for helping me. So, with that being said, we don't judge on this channel. We're here to uplift and help people. We know there's problems, situations out there, but here on this channel is a no judgment zone. We're here to uplift people, to help them, because we all are human and we all have something, and life is what I learned is um, a learning experience, of lessons. So the topic of discussion today is what you don't deserve. I was watching over the weekend. There was a documentary on Lifetime about the life of O.J. Simpson because I think he just passed away in April of this year, and they were talking about his marriage to Nicole Brown Simpson. And I was watching it and seeing other things within that story that I didn't know about. You know, um, we don't know exactly everything about it, so I'm not here to judge or do any of that. But what I saw made me cry because of abuse, and I'm zooming in on the abuse because nobody deserves to be abused. We all have, whenever you have anyone in your life, whether it's a friend, a relationship, a family member, whatever, you know, um, things come up. Things happen in life and things come up where we may not agree. We all don't agree all the time. But there's a way to sit down and discuss things and, work your way through it. And sometimes we may need to have a therapist intervention, but in any case, abuse is never okay, whether it's verbal or physical. And I guess it bothered me as I started to see the physical abuse of it, first starting with the verbal and then the physical, because I myself went through that 10 years and kind of reminded me of an ex that I was with for 10 years and how charming they can be in the beginning, and they can charm you and reel you in like a fish on a hook. And then once they have you where they think where they want, then the dark side comes out. That mask falls off and you see what that really is. And, I would never, never in a million years, if we had this conversation during the first part of me having that 10-year relationship and I was being charmed and oh, this is like my soulmate. This is everything, for the first year or so. And then after that, that mask came off. And when that mask came off, it just created, I have to turn this off, guys, because anyway, that mask came off. And what happened is that now I saw behind a mask of what was happening and what this person really was. Because sometimes what happens is that we like somebody so much because we see the other side of them, the charming side of them, the happy, everything. But we make excuses for the abuse sometimes, which is the sign of it's a red flag, you know. And in my case, and I'm just talking from my experience, especially after watching that, is that there was some words that was said, and you know, and certain things were said in front of my son, who was about 9 years old at the time, because this is going uh, a ways back. So I would ignore it and say, "Oh, when someone's having a bad day or whatever the situation might be." But then it started to escalate, into other stuff, like making me feel like I wasn't good enough, or that, I was down here and they were up here kind of attitude. And because I wanted that family so much that, I became subservient and tried to walk a tightrope that I couldn't walk, and the abuse grew. It just escalated until one day it got so bad I had to get out. And and when you try to get out, sometimes the abuser becomes worse. And in my case, I was told I'm gonna burn your house down, I'm gonna cut the top, just a lot of horrible stuff that and I became terrified at some point, because until one day I had enough. And I said, I'm not putting up with this anymore, because this is not getting better. This is getting worse. It's affecting my own child as well as myself. And I knew I had to make a decision. And it was hard because, sometimes when you get out of these things, that abuser turn on a charm again, you know? Like I talked about someone I dated when I was a teenager who I really liked a lot. And, we dated for about a year until he wanted me to go someplace with him. And I couldn't because I had an obligation to my mother for something that particular night. And I said I couldn't go. And because I had an obligation to take care of something. And see, I'm from New York. So we were in an apartment building in a hallway, and we were standing by the stairwell. And I said, I can't go with you because of, A, B, C, D. And all of a sudden, the charming person that I know turned into this dark, demented person that I didn't see. And he smacked me. And when he smacked me, guys, I fell. He smacked me so hard, I fell down. And I was inches from falling down the staircase. Because when I hit my head on the rail, like the edge of the railing. Literally saw stars, got up, and I punched him in the face. Yeah. And I said, if you hit me back again, you're going to jail. This relationship is over. Because I was in shock. I didn't expect that. And then he became charming again. Flowers, candy, everything for 4 months after. I said, I don't want this. Even as a teenager, guys, I knew that this is not okay, and I'm never, ever going to put up with something like this, right? And after he tried to charm me back, after, doing this for 4 months, and he realized the realization that I'm not coming back, um, what he did is that mask came off again. And I saw the ugliness and the abuse behind it. And I said, thank you, God, I made the right decision to get away from this, because I just thought about what would have happened if I would have fell down the stairs. I could have broke my neck. It could have been a whole lot worse. And I decided I'm getting out now. I'm not giving a second or third chance on this. So I'm talking to the people out there who may have gone through abuse matters, that you're not alone. And I'm sharing my personal experiences so that you know that I understand, because I've gone through that. And I've liked someone so much to the point where, excuse me, that I might have, gotten married or whatever. And I'm glad it didn't lead to that, because he did get married, I don't know how many years later, and he became a punching bag to his wife, and that wasn't going to be me. And I was glad that I made the decision that I did make. So abuse of any form, whether it's verbal or physical, is no good, you know. And Everybody have arguments, everybody have disagreements, everybody have not so good days, but no one has a right to make another individual pay for what's going on in their life, by verbally abusing them or using them as a punching bag or whatever. And this is why I named this topic of discussion what you don't deserve, because no one deserved to be beaten up, to be knocked down, and all these things lower your self esteem. It makes you question yourself. I know for a long time, especially the 10-year relationship, it made me question myself, never feeling that low again in my life, never allowing anyone to make me feel that low, because it was just it was before I learned to how to love myself and how to value my worth that I had to go through that, because it was a lesson. I had to wake up and say, yes, I'm worth it. And no one deserves any of this negativity. But it was a lesson that I kept repeating because I didn't learn the prior lessons. And each lesson, like I said, it goes by. Once you don't learn it and you have to keep repeating it, it's worse. Different person or situation, but the same lesson. We all have a choice in the matter. When we start to see someone's abuse, in the beginning, for me, I don't want to deal with that person anymore. I don't care who, what, why, you know. All I can say to you guys, and you're probably gonna laugh at this, the devil knows how to put together a package, right? He knows how to put together, because this ex of mine, and I'm not talking about the 10-year relationship, but the one where I was in when I was a teenager. I mean, so charming, this and that. I could have really seen myself married, to this person. And but that other side, and it came out of nowhere, like left field. And I'm like, oh no, this is not going to work for me. Um, and when people tell you to, you do what I tell you, if I tell you to do A, B, C, and D, you are to do it. And sometimes people, when you really make up your mind and you decide that this is not it for me, and you truly don't want any more of the abuse, the toxicity, and negativity, and you make a stand to walk away, then sometimes the abuser become a stalker, where they start stalking you to see where you are, what you're doing, how you're doing it, and etc. They become obsessed, and I've had situations like that, where, you know, someone was obsessive doing things, just trying to see what I'm doing, where I am, where I'm going. These things is never okay. It's really against the law, But what I do is keep to date, at least I am today, I'm not putting up with any of it. No abuse. If I'm dating, let's say, for example, I go out on a date and I go out on a second or third date, right? And by that time, if I see something abusive, and I'm not talking about some mistake, we all make mistakes every day. I'm talking about pinpointing abuse, something that you see that is going to show up even worse later on if you're in that relationship. I just ended, you know. There was someone a while ago that I went out on a date with. I think I went out on two dates and noticed that this person had a drinking problem, and I'm like, I'm not dealing with this, because if you're drunk all the time, and I just, certain things the old Lisa would have said, well, maybe, I'm being too critical, too judgmental. If something is going off within me that's feeling uncomfortable, that there's something wrong with this, and I'm not talking about somebody have a glass of wine. I'm talking about somebody who's drunk to the point where they get up, they don't even know where the bathroom is. Or they go to the bathroom and they don't remember where we were sitting or something like that. And somebody has to show them where they were sitting before they got up to go to the bathroom. We have to watch for the signs and see it for what it is and not for what I wanted it to be. Because in the past, I used to do that. Oh, it's not that bad because we all have something. To me, I was settling for what I didn't deserve. No one should settle for something they didn't deserve, and it's not okay to settle for something that you don't deserve. And the least I am today, as I work on myself and build myself up, and do my therapy, meditation, go outside, do things, to keep my environment peaceful. um, I don't settle for that anymore. It doesn't matter who like it, whatever. I used to be so concerned in the past about the gossip and things that people would say about me, and I would just be overwhelmed by it. The least I am today, after working on myself, is it's still always some kind of work to do, guys. But I'm at the point that I label that as noise, and I tune that out because I'm not going to engage in toxicity as I did all this work to build myself up for something that's not worth my time. They were lessons. It's like the Turner story too. When I watch What's Love Got to Do with It, I've seen it several times. I think and believe that that was a lesson for her to learn. And once she learned the lesson, she was able to get away from it. Life is about, you know, things and situations and people come into our life for a reason, season, or lifetime or lesson. And like I said, if we don't learn those lessons, it get repeated over and over again until we learn. But they get worse and worse, because we're not learning them. And I had to take a stand for myself, you know. And you know, everybody, like I said, have bad days and A, B, C, and D, but abuse, labeling abuse. No one has a right to abuse another person. You know, you don't own that person. And or play God in somebody else's life. And when people do that, I disconnect from it. And I keep moving. I talk to God about it. I talk to God about a lot of things. I don't have conversations like, I have conversations with God like I would if my natural father was here and talk about it, you know, and then I move forward. I don't stay in a place of bitterness. That's another thing. Whatever trials and tribulations that you guys have gone through that have affected your life and traumatized you, please reach out to a therapist to start working on the healing process so that you don't get bitter. Because when you're in a space of bitterness and you allow yourself to stay there, you can't grow and evolve because you're stagnated and stuck in the circumstances that traumatize you. In order to grow, you have to start the process with therapy and take steps to heal your inner child that's been traumatized by all this toxicity and negativity. And nothing ventures, nothing gained, meaning that you have to put in the work. You can't wave a magic wand and then tomorrow you wake up, everything is perfect. Nothing is ever perfect. But what it is, you can strive to invest in yourself so you can be the best version of yourself. And so that you can recognize toxicity and abuse so that you can do a detour and not jump head in just because a package may look good or they are talking and saying all the things that you want to hear. Go deeper, research, see what this is truly about. And what I do, any dating I do, I take my time. Take my time to get to know that person, and see if if we are on the same page with things in life, and see if they are abusive or not abusive. How are they moving? All those, and they can do the same with me. I'm not perfect. I have my faults as well, whether I'm healing or not, but the key factor is to keep moving, keep working on yourself, keep building yourself up, because now that I've helped to build other people up, now it's my turn to build me up. And I just wanted to emphasize also with this whole video is never allow yourself to stay in a place of bitterness because of what you went through, because it will stunt your growth. It will stunt your healing. If you stay bitter, ask God to help you to heal that so that you can move forward and do things for yourself. That makes you feel good. Pamper yourself. you know um, when you hear other people's stories, especially if you're currently going through things. Let that, listen to things if it resonates with you, you know, to help you, to build you up, so that you don't make the same mistakes again. We all make mistakes. Never be ashamed of the mistakes, but use that tool as a learning experience, because that um, situation could come back around again. And if you healed and learned from it, then you won't repeat it. Just keep going and building up yourself. And like I said, tune out the noise, because as you start to build yourself up and feel good and do better, some people may be haters. Leave them. Me personally, I leave them where they are, let them make the noise, but I'm over here. I'm over here at peace instead of being in pieces or toxicity, and just keep nurturing yourself and building yourself up. Find a therapist that you vibe with. You can Google in the area where you live and make that your starting point, you know. And also, one last thing I want to say before I leave is to live your life, embrace your life. Don't just exist in this world today. There's a lot of things that can make you bitter, especially things that's going on in this world that's on a negative. Never allow yourself to be or stay in a place of bitterness because of it. You know, we all, or hopelessness, please come to this channel, listen to what's being said here. If you have any comments, please leave them. Subscribe to the channel, because we're here to uplift and to help. And I hope my experiences of everything that I talk about here and how I've gotten through it can help you if it resonates with you, and see if it can you can apply some of these things in your own circumstances, you know. And like I said, nothing ventures, nothing gained, and nothing happens overnight. We have to put in the work little by little, and you will eventually see the results. I promise you, because I'm a living example of that. Thank you all for being here, and I have to get going. I will be back tomorrow. I can't give a time, but I am here tomorrow. Please subscribe to the channel, and you will get a notification as to when I stop by. And everyone, have a great day and enjoy this beautiful weather. This is Lisa sending you love and encouraging you all to be the best that you can be. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.